All right, but I can't, it's a little slow. Okay, I'm going to hope for the best. Okay, I'm going to shut that down. There we go. All right. Oh, Anya says yes. Brilliant. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to share my screen. Make sure you can see my slides. Oh, here we go. All right, give me a thumbs up or yes if you can see my slides. Yep, all right, brilliant. And you can hear me okay, obviously, because you're answering my question. Awesome, guys. All right, well, I'm going to get myself organized. Rightio. So, guys, thank you. Hello and welcome to everyone. Thank you to all of our repeat listeners. I know there's a few of you that tune in religiously to this webinar, so I really want to thank you for that. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time tonight, my name is Dani Catania. I'm a qualified dietitian and nutritionist. I have spent years in private practice and in elite sports nutrition, and I'm really passionate about what great nutrition can do for a person's health and also for their performance as well. In my very humble opinion, I feel that Isagenix really does have very easy, convenient and affordable solutions for anyone and everyone to achieve their great health, and it's as simple as that. I host this webinar on the first Monday night of every month, so thank you as always for tuning in. The structure, just for those of you who are new, the structure for these webinars is we start with an education piece to kick off with, and then I'll address some of the questions that have come through our product questions inbox. So thank you. If you've sent your question in, you'll have it answered tonight. If you'd like to have your question answered in future articles or in future webinars, make sure you send it through. You should be able to see that email on your screen, but it's product questions ANZ. That ANZ is very important at isagenixcorp.com. So thanks to everyone who got their questions in time for tonight's call. Tonight is I know there's a lot of you who are very excited for this. Tonight is all about our new Essence essential oils range. But before we get into all of that, I just really want to make sure, now hopefully my mouse is working, there we go, hopefully you can see that. So I get quite a few questions each week on how to find past recordings of these webinars. If you want to share with them with team members or potential customers that might need a bit more clarification on a particular topic. So if you go to the ANZ, the Isagenix ANZ Facebook page, and you look down the left-hand side, as you can see on your screen, you'll see the videos tab, and you can see a similar thing on your phone. So if you click on that, you'll see all of the videos that we've previously broadcast and recorded. We are looking to house them elsewhere, but for now, here's where you'll find them. But more on that coming soon. And of course, it wouldn't be a product talk webinar if we didn't go through our disclaimer. So again, I just like to remind everyone that information provided on this webinar is designed to help you make informed choices about your health. It's not intended to substitute advice from your GP or your chosen health professional. And the statements appearing on this webinar have not been evaluated by the Therapeutic Goods Administration. And of course, as always, Isagenix products are never intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. So with that being said, let's begin. So some of you may have heard that essential oils are here. If you were living under a rock, you may not know, but they are here. Now, some of you may have also heard us say that essential oils are not new to Isagenix. And this is because essential oils have actually featured in some of our cornerstone products for years as natural ingredients and flavoring agents. Again, in my eyes, as a dietitian, very passionate about herbal nutrition, Isagenix has always harnessed the power of plants in the form of things like botanical ingredients and adaptogens. And I feel like pure essential oils in beautiful blue bottles are really an extension on that. And hands up, give me a yes if you love the fact now that you can get some of your favorite oils from Isagenix. Oh yeah, there's a few hands going up. Awesome. Brilliant, guys. So for me, you know, doing good and feeling good go really hand in hand, right? And that's why every Essence product has pure ingredients. We also handle each oil with the utmost care to make sure that it's 100% pure. And that's because doing the right thing for you and the earth is at the core of what we do here at Isogenic. So that's really important. And this is that is a big value of mine. And that's why I'm with this company. We know that settling for less than the best probably isn't part of your wellness plan, and it should be no different for essential oils. There's a number of oils available. You walk out your front door and there are, you know, a plethora of oils, you know, at different price points, and you know, it can be quite hard to find 100% pure oil. It's hard to tell if you're not sure what you're looking for. But you can rest assured that every oil in our Essence line is carefully selected and third-party tested, as well as backed by our no compromise commitment to quality. And we're going to talk a little bit in depth about this tonight. So really, what does this mean for you? It's peace of mind when you are, you know, using an oil. So let's talk a little bit about how Isogenics is different. All right, so really oils are really a part of our complete wellness solution. All right, so our oils are great, but they don't do everything. Good nutrition is still paramount to your best health, and our range of oils can really complement whatever your health goal may be, whether that's weight loss, whether that's performance nutrition. There's really something, or just, you know, general health and well-being. There is an oil or a blend that can really suit your, you know, and complement your health goal. Our goal is really to make oils simple and as fuss-free as possible. And we do have exclusive blends and a toolkit really that can help you identify what's the best way for you to use them for you and your family. We've had some questions around kids and pets and things, so we're going to address those tonight as well. And I really feel that if there's one thing that we do here at Isogenics, and we do a lot of things well, but specifically for me, it's the science. And we're pretty hung up about only communicating the benefits of oils that are backed by science. So that's really what you can expect from us. So let's talk a little bit about the Essence range. Now, for those of you who came to the roadshow, some of these slides may be familiar, but we are building on that. So don't think, oh, it's just what I've heard. We are building on this. And for those of you who didn't get to the roadshow, here's some of what you might have missed. All right, so let's talk a little bit about our Essence range and our 10 introductory oils. So all of our oils are highly concentrated and they're derived from plants via distillation or cold pressing. We're going to talk about that later on. All are 100% pure, unadulterated essential oils. They are vegan and vegetarian friendly. I had that question come up. All can be diffused or applied topically, and we've got some tips on that coming up for you as well. And some people may choose to ingest some of the following oils. So you'll see on your screen lavender, lemon, peppermint, frankincense, defense shield content, and tum bliss. It is content, not content, which is what I thought when I first read the title. However, many aromatherapists suggest that the best way to derive the benefits of the oils are via topical use or via diffusion. But we can chat more a little bit about that tonight as well. Please make note that the tea tree, eucalyptus, and fresh blend, these are all unsafe for and not recommended for ingestion. Okay, and this is all available in the toolkit as well. If you haven't got your hands on the toolkit, you can do so. It's just at anz.isafyi.com, and you just go to Essence, and you'll find all of the details there. So let's meet the singles, all right? So we've got lavender, eucalyptus, tea tree, lemon, frankincense, and peppermint. All right, I'm not going to spend too long on this because we've got quite a lot of stuff to get through, and you guys can read up on this. But I really, for those of you who are listening in, because you're really committed to sharing oils compliantly, just take note of the language that we use on these slides and in what I'm saying as well, because that's going to be the best way for us to be able to share oils in the right way. We always want to be doing the right thing. And just a note on that, if you are part of a global team, or have maybe a North American or Canadian upline, please note that there are differences in the way that we share and communicate the benefits of the oils. In Australia and New Zealand, they are classed as cosmetic sort of accessory products, if you like. So think about, what you might say about a lipstick, for example. It's all about how it makes you feel, right? So just bear that in mind. In North America and Canada, they are classed slightly differently, and they've got a little bit more liberty at what they can say about oil. So just bear that in mind. Really tune into the Australian tools for if you are in Australia and New Zealand when you're talking about oils. So let's talk a little bit about lavender. So lavender, we know it's been very, very well known for its calming, relaxing properties, and can really help you prepare for a restful night's sleep. We've got eucalyptus, which has got its revitalizing and stimulating kind of benefits. And I should actually get a yes. Hands up if you already use lavender, if that's something that's really part of your wellness routine. Okay, yep, there's some hands going up. And what about eucalyptus? Some of you guys might be, I know eucalyptus is always something I keep in my laundry, and I always add a couple of drops to my wash load instead of softener, because I think it's just, it's a more natural way to clean. Perfect. So there's a few people raising their hands for eucalyptus. And what about, so we know tea tree. Tea tree is, has got skin and scalp benefits really for overall health. Hands up if tea tree is part of your, maybe it might be part of your bathroom cabinet. There's a few people going up. Awesome. And lemon. Now, lemon obviously it's a citrus oil. It's the one that's cold pressed. And it's got very refreshing and uplifting properties. So really a nice way to maybe to add a little flavor to your shakes or to your water. We'll talk a little bit more about that. So hands up if you've tried the lemon or you're hanging to try lemon. That's something. All right. There's a few more hands going up. Awesome, guys. I love how interactive you are. It's really good for me too. Makes me feel like I'm not just talking to a computer screen. And what about, so frankincense? Frankincense has been used for centuries. It's referenced in biblical terms. It's known for its tranquility properties, and also, it can be important in the appearance of healthy skin. So is frankincense something that any one of you guys are using at the moment? Hands up if that is. Yep, a few people. Awesome. And of course, peppermint. So peppermint's got very cooling, refreshing, uplifting, and soothing benefits as well. And we know that there are even sports nutrition applications of peppermint oil, but more on that later. Okay, so let's meet our blends. Now, the blends are exclusive to Isogenics, and we've partnered with a globally renowned essential oil specialist, and we've been able to come up with some blends that can really complement our current or our existing health systems. So we've got Defense Shield, and you can see what's the blends that make up Defense Shield. It's very refreshing, uplifting. A good one for when you're feeling snotty or congested. This is a really good one. Tumbliss, it's got very calming, soothing, and comforting kind of properties. I've got a tip coming up about how to use Tumbliss. And we've got something like Content, right, which is it's all around promoting feelings of satisfaction and being very comforting. And we have a little bit of a joke going that it's something that you might diffuse if you're feeling a little hangry or a little maybe looking at ways of feeling getting through a cleanse day. Let's just say that, right? And then of course we've got Fresh. So Fresh is also, it's known as Airway in North America and Canada. It's Fresh here in Australia and New Zealand. And this is another one that could be really great. If you look at, some of the ingredients, eucalyptus, lemongrass, tea tree, another good one that you could use if you're feeling a little congested to freshen the air and promote feelings of being able to breathe clearer. All right, so there are our blends. Now, for some of you guys, you might have seen these before. I'm going to, just to make sure that we are letting everyone know what's available, we've got our Cool Mist Diffuser, we've got our coconut application oil. We're going to go through some tips on how to use these as part of your experience kit. So now in the toolkit, you're going to see the toolkit is really being able to simplify our goal is really to simplify the oils experience. So there's 3 different sort of routes, if you like, or methods to using essential oils. Number 1 is via topical application. The second route is via diffusion. You can use a diffuser, or it could be on a handkerchief or something, and you can keep that handy on you. And for some people, they may choose to ingest some of the oils, and really the goal for us is really around flavoring, using them as flavoring aids in your kitchen. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So how to use essential oils. All right, so number 1, so if we're looking at applying them topically, and I guess this is for the benefit of people that are brand new to oils. I guess this is kind of how we oil, all right? So we can, for topical applications on your skin, so you can apply 1 to 2 drops of oil on your skin. Remember that they are very, very concentrated. And if you're worried about skin sensitivity, just mix the essential oil with a few drops of coconut application oil. So that's often a safe way of being able to use those oils topically on your skin. To diffuse them, we recommend adding about 8 to 10 drops of the oil to your diffuser, and that's going to be important to use in a well-ventilated room with your chosen oil. And then, of course, when we're talking about ingestion, if you choose to ingest the oils, this is really about, like I said, adding flavor and aroma in the kitchen. So, dilute 1 drop of oil into at least 240 mils of liquid. And you might see on the screen there, because they are so potent, even the tiniest amount can provide great flavor and benefits. So you might try dipping a toothpick into the oil and stirring it into your shake or your cleanse. Or for some people like adding a toothpick of peppermint oil to their water bottles while they're exercising. There's been an early study looking at people who use peppermint oil in their water bottles while they were exercising actually had better performance outcomes. So that might be something that you choose to do. Remember, again, so the fresh blend tea tree oil and eucalyptus oil are not suitable for ingestion. So just reminding you guys about that one. Now, one of the questions also that's come up is around plastic bottles and oils. So if you do choose to flavor water or other liquids with essential oils, just make sure that you're using a glass or stainless steel bottle or container. Plastics and oils may interact, so just be mindful of that. If you are adding oils to your shakes, the plastic blending vessel is okay, because remember, it's not just going in water, you're mixing it in with other components that'll kind of, the shake components will kind of protect it. I hope that makes sense. So what I'm trying to say is the shake blending vessel is absolutely okay. Another thing, while we're talking about using them in water, if you are going to use a little bit of peppermint oil, so a drop or a toothpick, say in your water bottle at the gym, just make sure that you're always shaking it up before you have a drink, just to make sure that the oil's dispersed. The oil can often, if it's been left sitting there, remember, oil and water don't mix, and so the oil can sit on the top, and you can often get it in one kind of complete mouthful if you're not being sort of cautious of mixing it up. So just a note for that. And the other thing is, if you are using essential oils in the bath, just make sure that you're adding them while the bath is running, so that, again, the oil is being dispersed. Another tip that a very experienced aromatherapist gave me is to dilute a few drops of essential oil in a tablespoon of milk, and then add it to the bath, and that can help disperse the oil. So there's a few tips for you anyway. So let's talk a little bit about, let's get into some detail. So how are essential oils extracted? Now, let me just make sure I've got my tips. So now remember, we want to say, we're looking at things like using a peppermint drop. Sorry, not before I talk about extraction. We're looking at, using a drop of peppermint oil or fresh print on the collar of your workout wear. This can help to give your workout a bit of a lift. Give me a yes if this is something that you might have done before, or maybe you've tried. There's a few people that are giving this a go. Brilliant. Are you finding it's helping? A few people saying yes. Yep, awesome. There are, another suggestion might be to use something like lavender and or frankincense oil in the diffuser, in a well-ventilated bedroom to prepare for a restful and relaxing night's sleep. We talked a little bit about peppermint oil in sports, or sports applications, but think about peppermint is very uplifting, same with lemon oil. So that can be really great scents to when you need to focus at work or while studying. Now, tumblers can be really great if you are, dilute in a couple of drops of coconut oil, and you can rub or massage that onto your tummy before flying or traveling for a calming effect. And again, things like eucalyptus, peppermint, lemon oil are very known for also their natural kind of cleansing benefits as well. So keeping, a bottle of, spray bottle or a spritzer bottle with a couple of drops of those oils in your bathroom cupboard or kitchen can be a really natural way of keeping surfaces clean without the use of harsh chemicals. So there's a few tips for you guys there. So let's talk a little bit about how essential oils are extracted. So like I said, they're highly concentrated aromatic extracts that are distilled or cold pressed from a variety of plant materials, including things like leaves, roots, flowers, seeds, resins, woods, and fruits. Most of the oils are steam distilled, and lemon oil is the only exception. This is the one that's cold pressed, and you can see the pictures on your screen. This is also available in the toolkit. Now, we have created products based on a commitment to no compromise quality since our inception, right? And I know a lot of you guys who have been with Isagenix for a number of years will know. And our Essence range really does follow suit when it comes to no compromise. We've really built our reputation on exceeding all standards that are commonly used in the nutraceutical industry. And in my humble opinion, of course, our no compromise standards really do put Isagenix in a category above the rest. And that's a big reason why I'm here. So I'm going to do this as quickly as I can, but I really, for those people that this is important to you, or the people that you're sharing these with, I really want to make sure that we go through the steps to make sure that we have 100% pure, unadulterated oils. So here we go. So number one, so we partner with only carefully vetted and responsible suppliers that have 100+ years of combined experience in the growing, harvesting, and manufacturing of essential oils. Through these relationships and these practices, we've identified the most sought after raw materials grown in precise agricultural and also meteorological, I can't say that word, conditions around the world with unique properties that can't be replicated elsewhere. Naturally occurring aromatic plants are selected based on evidence that shows benefits when they're used in aromatherapy, paying special attention to the plant origin and the part of the plant where the oil is extracted from. So give me a yes if this is something that's important to you. So knowing where that we put this much thought into, yep, there's so many hands going up, awesome. Then I'm glad I'm going through this. Step two is, we're looking at the oils are extracted from the plants, like I said, using steam distillation or cold processing, depending on the species, of course, and the plant part. Steam distillation passes steam through the plant material to collect the essential oils, and cold processing extracts the oils by mechanically crushing the plant, followed by separating the essential oil via a centrifuge. All right, so let's talk about the next step. So the oils are then sent to Isagenix for what we call organoleptic testing, which is essentially sensory, right? It's smell, touch, taste, and approval. So we've got some qualified organoleptic experts. And this ensures that the appearance, color, and the fragrance of the oils are up to our standards. So our people are so highly trained that they can actually smell when the oils have been adulterated, and if the oil is not up to the standards of our trained experts, the oil is rejected. Okay, so it's a really important step. Now, once approved, the oils are then sent to industry-leading third-party labs in both US and Canada, and this is where we do identification testing, right? So this is for making sure that what we have is, whether it's lavender oil, that it is pure lavender oil, for the purity, for chemical analysis, and also microbiological testing. You don't need to memorize any of this, but for the people that really care about this, this is important that we communicate it. For identification testings, we'll use several test methods. So things like gas chromatography, mass spectrometry, or GCMS, and other methods like gas chromatography flame ionization detector. Again, you don't need to remember this, but this is important for people who are in the know. These tests detect all of the components that make up the specific oil and ensure that each oil meets the highest standards set by the International Organization for Standardization, or it's known as ISO, okay? And this validates the quality and purity of the oil. So to assess and ensure the purity of the oils, we also test for things like refractive index, specific gravity, optical rotation, heavy metals, and microbial contamination. So again, very similar to what we are testing for when, with all of our products. And so the next steps, so someone asked if our oils are food grade, and the answer is yes, because they are bottled in FDA regulated facilities. So this means that the Isogenics quality control team release the approved oils to be filled, bottled, and labeled at FDA regulated food facilities. These that meet our no compromise quality standards. Then the oils, so step 6, the oils are sampled and submitted to third-party labs for microbiological testing to make sure that they're 100% pure and free of bacterial contaminants. And again, an additional organoleptic test is performed to ensure quality. So there really is there's no holes, right? This is very, very sound. Step 7 is where samples of each batch of essence are shipped to our world headquarters in Arizona for final evaluation by our quality assurance team. And this consists of more organoleptic testing and chemical analysis and documentation verifications prior to the oil's arrival in our distribution centers. So you can really see. The last step is really making sure that 100% pure, authentic, and no compromise essential oil products are packed in shatter and leak-proof packaging. This is to make sure that the integrity and the quality of each oil is safely delivered to your door. So hopefully that is important for some of you, especially who are sharing these oils. Yep, there's a few hands going up, good. And I want to give the example of tea tree oil, okay? So tea tree oil is a good example of how easy it can be to adulterate an essential oil, right? So adulteration of tea tree oil has recently been identified as a major issue with up to 50%. So that's 1 in every 2 commercial samples being adulterated. So unintended adulteration can include, other species of melaleuca that's not included in the ISO tea tree oil standards norm. And intentional adulterants can include things like vegetable oils, eucalyptus oil, and byproduct of other, industries. So things like synthetic oils, and things like pine and camphor can appear in some lesser quality tea tree oils. So really important to make sure we've got these safety standards, right? Now, I really want to go through some questions that have come up, because this is our opportunity to really go through these. And if there are any questions that you have after this webinar, please just send them through to Product Questions ANZ, and I'll make sure I get them answered, at least on my Facebook page, to make sure that everyone gets the answer. So, will the blue bottles protect the quality of the oils like the typical amber ones? The answer is yes. Blue is actually it's basically the most protective when it comes to UV rays, and it's also unique, right? So it's not the same, we're a little different to the typical amber bottles, right? So just make sure you're storing your oils in a cool, dark place. How much oil is in each bottle? It's 15 mils. How do I apply it topically? Like we talked about, just making sure that you're using 1 or 2 drops of the oil and diluted in the coconut application oil. And if you find that you're happy with how you're going and you'd like to try applying the oil directly to your skin, just make sure again it's no more than 1 or 2 drops. But just assess how you go for safety. Okay. The next question, do we have to be cautious of citrus oils and sun exposure? Yes, we do. Citrus oils, so things like lemon, Defense Shield, Tumblr, and Content. Just make sure that if you're using them on your skin, avoid UV rays or UV exposure for 12 hours after applying the product topically. Sometimes this is where the base of the foot can be a really great place to use those kind of oils as well, or under clothing where it's not going to be something like Tumblr on your tummy is going to be covered and it's not going to be exposed to UV rays. Are oils approved for children, pregnant or breastfeeding women and pets? So this is a really good question. So our oils really can be enjoyed by the whole family through the use of a diffuser in very large, well-ventilated spaces. Before applying any essential oil topically, it's really best to consult with your child's pediatrician when it comes to children's use, and we don't recommend applying oils to children ages 4 and under unless you're working with a specialist, all right, and obviously following their direction. Consider using small amounts of the oil and using Isogenics coconut application oil if you apply the oil topically. And when we're using essential oils to flavor, things, then we really are only recommending that for adults 18 and above. Now, some pets may be a little sensitive to the aroma of essential oils. So just make sure if you're diffusing essential oils, don't do it in an enclosed or poorly ventilated space for people or pets. If you've got pets and you'd like to diffuse your oils at home and you're concerned, just make sure you consult with your vet to find out if there's any concerns that might be important for your pet. Okay, and of course, pregnant and breastfeeding women should really check with their doctor before using the oils. Now, how does the quality of Isogenics essential oils, Isogenics essence compared to other oils? Well, of course, we can't speak to the purity of oils sold by other companies, but at Isogenics, we are committed to delivering, like we just talked about, oils that really meet or exceed the industry standards for purity and quality. So I really, we've talked about that. All of our oils are natural, no solvents are ever used to extract the oils. And of course, like we talked about, they're all backed by our no compromise quality and commitment to safety. Essential oils responsibly sourced. And give me a yes if these are questions that you've had on your mind or they've come up for you, just to make sure I'm on track. Okay, good. Perfect. I'm glad I'm on track. So remember, through our no compromise commitment, we've interviewed, vetted and selected partners like we talked about that only work directly with and have long-standing relationships with local farmers around the world to really understand their best harvesting practices. And through these relationships, we've identified the most sought after raw materials, like we talked about. And that really, our oils are only cultivated from a hand-picked group of regions where this naturally occurring science kind of takes place to make sure that we're producing the most pure and most effective oils. So hopefully that answers those questions. Are they therapeutic grade? So remember that they are, well, actually, no, sorry, I was thinking about another question. So Isogenics conforms to, remember how we talked about those good manufacturing processes or current CGMPs? In addition, we also will employ a thorough quality assurance program to make sure that they're of the highest quality and safety use. So terms like therapeutic grade are not TGA endorsed certifications, nor are they universal labeling terms. So while our labels don't include that specific marketing language, you know that our oils carry the Isogenics no compromise commitment, right? So they're 100% pure and safe. The next question is, are essential oils organic? Remember, we talk about, we've talked in depth about our no compromise ingredient policy, and it really is set up to ensure that our products are made in accordance with the highest standards of good manufacturing practices. And like we've been talking about, sourced from suppliers who align with and meet our sustainable sourcing standards. As a policy, organic ingredients may be used when they are the best option for the quality of the product, but sometimes organic ingredients don't always meet our quality standards. Organic generally refers to crops grown without the use of synthetic pesticides and fertilizers, but it doesn't ensure the purity, safety or potency, right? Whereas the Isagenix no compromise ingredient policy does. So hopefully that's all making sense. Is this good? Hopefully I'm not boring you to tears with all these questions. All right, good. We've got hands going up. That's always good. All right, so let's move on. That wraps up our essential oils section for tonight, our education. Remember, I'm going to be doing some posts around tips for use, and this is not the last time we'll be talking about essence. It's just really, I really wanted to use this time with you guys to share some tips that you might not have heard of. So let's jump into some Q&A. Again, our disclaimer, the answers to the following questions should not be considered as medical advice, and it's our general recommendation that people with any kind of medical condition speak with their doctors before starting any Isagenix system, modifying their diet or changing their lifestyle. To be clear, Isagenix offers meal replacements and nutritional supplements, not medications, and no information used in the promotion of our products should ever be misinterpreted as medical advice. So that being said, let us, now, before I jump into some of the questions, because we had some crackers tonight, I just really want to share how to find ingredients in the products, because I always get ingredient questions and I really want to empower you guys to make sure you know where to find it. So the best way to check these for yourself is to do a quick search through the products in the nutrition information PDF. So you can go to anz.isaproduct.com, scroll to the bottom of the page, and find the nutrition information PDF. All right, so once you've opened it, then you go to the find section. You can see, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but where's the find? No, I can't, I'm looking for it here with the little magnifying glass, that's the find, or you can press Control F. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but it's the little magnifier right on the top left of your screen of the image there. Control F does the same function. Then type the ingredient that you're looking for in the search bar, and it will search for the word in that entire document to help you find what you're looking for. So someone asked me about turmeric. Someone's got an allergy to turmeric. So if I was doing this, or someone else asked about St. John's wort, is that in any product? You would just go to type in the search bar, click enter, and it will highlight all of the places where that ingredient exists. So hopefully that helps to you guys to be self-sufficient. So the first question comes from the beautiful Christy. She says, I was wondering if you could help with answering the following question or concern. You're better off eating whole foods because with shakes or supplements, they go through your body too quick for the body to be able to absorb anything. So because whole foods take longer to break down, the body is better able to absorb the nutrients more. And she says, I don't think this is true. I just don't know how to respond to it. So I think this is a great question, Christy. So bottom line, there's no scientific evidence to really back this up. It may have come from the fact that the coating of some vitamin supplements can be difficult to break down, and therefore you might have poor absorption. For me, the isolane shake is one of the easiest foods to digest and absorb, and it may mean that you're actually more likely to absorb the nutrients contained within it. So I hope that helps to answer that, but there's really no science to suggest that that's the fact. Question from Nadine. So Nadine says, I was wanting to ask about using their oils to ingest. Are they counted as food grade oil? That's the question I was thinking about before. I was listening to a podcast that said Australia and New Zealand had to list the product as a cosmetic. You are right, Nadine. So hopefully you weren't listening to what we discussed earlier, but if just in case you weren't, just to remind you. So all of our oils are produced in FDA-approved facilities, like I said, so that they follow those current good manufacturing processes, or CGMPs, which is essentially food-grade quality, okay? And you're correct. They are classed as a cosmetic here in Australia and New Zealand, so our claims are very different to what you might hear from podcasts that are recorded in North America and Canada, or for those of you who are part of global teams. And if you do choose to ingest the oils, the only reason for doing this really would be to enhance the flavor and all the aroma of food, with something like peppermint or lemon oil. That's really as far as ingestion for me really goes. Okay, so the next question came from Rachel. So she says, I was wondering if there are any specific products to help with iron. Do the shakes and greens contain iron? Now, Rachel, I'm assuming that you meant iron deficiency. So remember that Isagenix products have been formulated with a healthy individual in mind. They were never intended to diagnose, cure, or treat or prevent any medical condition, which includes the treatment of clinical nutrient deficiencies. All right, so this is really about providing good nutrition to sustain an optimal nutrition status, not correct for any nutrient deficiencies. The amount of iron in an isolane shake is about 3 milligrams. So what you might get from, say, 100 grams of lean meat. And the amount of iron in the greens is likely to be very minimal, if any at all. And it's not something that we test for. If you do have a clinical iron deficiency, then you really do need to be supplementing specifically with an iron supplement as directed by your doctor or your professional. Okay, but really great question, Rachel. Question from Tiana. She said, I'd like to know if our oils are safe to be used by pregnant breastfeeding mums and around newborn babies. So remember, we did go through that answer earlier on. So Tiana, just make sure if you, just in the interest of time, if you've missed the live part where I was talking about that, you can go back and watch the recording. Just remember that we really do want to be sure that we're always working with a child's pediatrician, or for anyone who's pregnant and breastfeeding, their doctor, to make sure that there's no contraindications, because they are very powerful. A question comes from Jax on the GC on the Gold Coast. She says, I have a friend that is has a fairly strict allergy diet and has to avoid salicylates and amines. I looked at our allergy chart and I Googled the meanings of these names, but didn't really understand what they meant. Are you familiar with these? Great question, Jax. So salicylates and amines are naturally occurring food chemicals, and they exist in most foods. But the levels in which they're present can really vary. So some individuals are sensitive to high amounts of these natural chemicals, and they've learned or been advised to avoid these foods that are really high in them. Unfortunately, it's not something we test for, so I can't give you a guide to say whether they're low, moderate, or high in any of these food chemicals. But the general rule of thumb is that anything that's strongly flavored tends to be high in salicylates and or amines, so things like spicy food or very strongly flavored fruits and vegetables even. And if we're talking about the shakes, I really wouldn't class these as strongly flavored. Dairy foods are also listed as a low chemical dietary source of protein. So, for me, my advice would really be to introduce one product at a time for this individual if she chooses to use Isogenics, and assess her personal tolerance. And of course, I'd be using just the standard dairy-based isolane shake. And of course, she can do that under a 30-day money-back guarantee. And like I said, it might be wise to start her just on the standard isolane shake for her first 30 days and then go from there as she chooses. Okay. So a question from Samantha. I'm wondering if you can confirm if the essential oils are vegan friendly. The answer is yes, they are. Question from Maxine. So Maxine's got a couple of questions. She asked me, could you please advise which products are suitable or unsuitable for children broken down by age groups? Maxine, if you go to anz.isoproduct.com and scroll down to the allergen table, this will give you a guide to what products are suitable for different ages and broken down by age. Maxine also asked that she's got a lady who is very low in vitamin D. She's allergic to turmeric, which is an ageless active, isogenesis and cleanse for life. She asked me for advice on which products are suitable and which are not, please. Again, Maxine, if you heard me say it before, I'll repeat it again. anz.isoproduct.com, scroll down to nutrition information, that PDF. And then once you've opened it, remember Control F or the little magnifier glass to find. And then you can just write turmeric, and then that'll highlight all of the different products in all of the ingredients in all of the different products. All right, and that search bar is really handy for that. So hopefully that helps you with any other questions that might come up. Simone asks, I have a friend that has asked about the science behind the isogenic snacks on cleanse days, and if calories are calories, why can't she have a small shake instead, or veggies? The goal on a cleanse day, as some of you have heard me say this before, is to consume as few calories as possible within your personal capabilities and personal preferences, okay? Now, snack wafers are designed to deliver very modest 30 calories per snack, along with about a gram of protein, and that's really to help manage hunger or cravings during a cleanse day, maintain blood sugar levels, and it's much less, obviously, than a shake, which is going to deliver around 240 calories. Some veggies may be helpful on a cleanse day if you need them, so things like maybe some celery, but just keep the amounts within reason, because a cleanse day can easily turn into not a cleanse day, okay? So hopefully that helps. The next question comes from Daryl. I have a woman who would like to start using isogenics for weight loss. She's dairy and gluten intolerant and gets very unwell if she has anything with these in it. Now the good news, that she noticed that the additive 415 is in some of the products and was wanting to know if it's gluten-free and would it be safe for her to have. She's found in the past that she has bloating and flatulence with it. She also realizes it can come from other forms that she might be able to tolerate. So Daryl, the good news is that most of our products are gluten-free, and also, of course, if she's dairy intolerant, then we've got dairy-free options that are going to suit her needs. Now, 415 is xanthan gum, and this gum comes from a group of vegetable polysaccharides, which are with an even more bizarre name, hydrocolloids, which simply means that they consist of small colloid particles that dissolve easily in water, okay? And these types of gums are only in small amounts to help provide that viscosity or that thickness to foods such as the isolene shake. So some people, most people, for most people it's fine. Again, just assess her individual tolerance, but it's xanthan gum and it's from a vegetable and it is gluten-free, okay? Question from Erin. I had someone who was pregnant point out that amped hydrate says it's not suitable for kids or pregnant women as per the back of the box. Can I please get clarification on this? Good one, Erin. So amped hydrate is classified as a sports supplement, so hence the warning on the back of the pack. But there are no specific ingredients in amped hydrate that a child or a breastfeeding mother couldn't have. So hopefully that answers that. Eve asks, I wanted to get clarification on synthetic versus artificial ingredients. Am I correct in saying no artificial ingredients in our products? You are absolutely correct, Eve. So that is perfect. So we absolutely can stand by the fact that we have no artificial ingredients in any Isogenics product, which actually makes producing products actually quite hard because artificial ingredients are actually more stable, they last longer, and we do get artificial ingredients in some of the whole foods, or foods that we eat. All right, so it is easy to get them. Now, synthetic ingredients are often confused with artificial ingredients, and the terms do get confused. Some of our vitamins and in our products are synthesized in a lab because it is a sustainable process. So I often give the example of vitamin C, that there is no difference between vitamin C that comes from an orange versus vitamin C that's been biosynthesized via a fermentation reaction in the lab. Now, what that means is it's more sustainable because it doesn't mean we have to go through squeezing tons and tons of orange with lots of waste product to derive our vitamin C, but you can absolutely rest assured that there are no artificial ingredients. Artificial ingredients are man-made substances or that are they don't exist in our natural environment, whereas any kind of all of our ingredients are found in nature, right? So there are no artificial ingredients in our products. So hopefully that helps. We did actually do a webinar on this. It was, if you'd like to go back and find it, it was the Mythbusters webinar that we did a few months back. And you can find that on the videos tab on here on the ANZ Facebook page, okay? But that's a really good one. And the last question from Eve, she says, can you also please confirm whether the undenatured whey protein means it's cold pressed or cold processed? I hear cold pressed a lot, but I thought that's the process for making things like olive oil. Well, you are right, Eve, again. So cold pressed, yes, is used for things like olive oil, for juices, also for our lemon oil is cold pressed. Where there's a little bit of confusion is that our undenatured whey is processed in the absence of heat or acids, right? And what that means is that by processing them at low, so they're not really cold processed, but it's at low heat, right? What that does is it makes sure that we protect the structural integrity of the protein. So hope that makes sense. And if you've got any more questions, I think I've seen a few questions popping up, just send them through to productquestionsanz@isogenicscorp.com and I'll make sure I get them answered for you in any way that I can. All right. So finally, guys, thank you. It was a little longer tonight because we had a lot of education to get through. So I hope that that's answered some questions. Maybe it's helped you to decide if Isogenics is right for you, or maybe even reaffirm your decision to choose Isogenics as a vehicle to achieve your healthiest state. If you'd like more information, as I said, so you can head on over to anz.isoproduct.com. If you're not familiar with anz.isofii.com, we've got a nutrition tab, there's an essence tab. So we write articles very consistently to make sure that we're always, and that's often how I address questions there. And if you do have more questions, like I said, just email productquestionsanz@isogenicscorp.com. So our next webinar is Monday, the 5th of November. And the topic is all about our amped products, including our new amped nitro. So hopefully if you've got any nitro questions or amped product questions, make sure you send them in, and any questions that you might have. Thank you all for your attention. It has been a long one tonight. I hope you have a great Monday night, the very first day of October. Wish you all the best in your health journeys, and I will see you all next Monday night. So from me to you guys, good night. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Thank you for your kind comments. Good night, guys.